Are you ready to go on a journey with me as I set up a sump with a pre-drilled tank? And I'm not going to tell you what we're putting in it yet. But if you are, sit back, relax, and watch me make a fool out of myself as I learn with you folks along the way about getting one of these bad boys hooked up and ready for fish. Let's go! What's going on YouTube? It's Jay Wilson, JWill07, Instagram, Twitter, Jay Wilson on Facebook, NorthFinusa.com, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Sump time, baby. Yeah, we are learning this process. Yes, it may be easy for most, but for us, it is a little daunting. And we're learning it, we're applying it, and we want you to understand what we're going through because maybe you're in the same position, or maybe you just want a good laugh. So let's get to the first part about getting these bad boys connected together with primer, cement, getting the bulkheads attached, getting the washers right, making sure everything fits properly, cleaning it. You know the drill. Let's go. Buddy, now that we're here, we're doing the PVC/DIY pre-manufactured project. And what that means is some of this stuff was already cut, but the key for this whole project, and I'm going to sit down here so we can kind of get a closer view. The key to this project is just making sure you have the right measurement for each PVC and the right diameter. So this is 1 inch by 1 1/4 for this piece right here. Now the key is the water will do its thing. This is going to be the intake, and then you have the return pipe right here. So if that makes sense. Last night, just to give you a heads up, this is what I bought, okay? It's pretty self-explanatory. It's purple primer and the medium clear PVC cement. I didn't want anything crazy. Pretty simple. Clean the PVC, do a little round of this action. I got a little crazy. This was my first round. I got a little, got a little out of hand, but you get the point. Then this is like a jelly substance, almost like a rubber cement type style cement. I said that twice. And you're going to do the same thing. I did the inner and the outer as long as it was making that connection, i.e. these connections. So then what I did was I went out and bought these. I cannot stress enough that no matter where a hose hooks up to, whether it's a 1 inch hose, whether it's a 3/4 inch hose, that once the hose is connected, you should, I repeat, you should clamp. I do not care what anybody tells you. Wherever a hose meets a nozzle of some sort or a barb, whatever you want to call it, you need to make sure that it's clamped. So I've got all these bad boys ready, rocking. I'm going to silicone most of this stuff into place, and then we'll get everything set up, and then we'll start setting up the sump. All right, let's check it out. All right, folks, so we did a little wobble-de-wobble, wiggle, 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 and it now went through the pre-cut holes. Now, all of this was pre-done, from the actual tank, which weighs, I don't know, about 4 pounds, 5 pounds, to the stand, which weighs a little bit heavier, to the pre-designed sump that fits in the center of this stand, which I really like. As you can see, there is some film over here. I will not take it off. Sorry about the bird. I will not take this off until the tank is ready to rock and roll. So let's go back up to the top and make sure everything looks good. And yeah, follow me. So it appears everything is in working order. Look at that. Perfect. I've got a cap right here that I can place over the top, which I highly recommend. Now, a lot of this stuff was pre-cut by A-Round Nature themselves for me when I bought the kit. But if you are a DIYer or you pay attention to Joey's channel, The King of DIY, or even if you own his book, he has everything you need to get this job done for probably about 1/4 of the cost. So let's add some more parts. All right, folks, so now everything is hand tightened. You don't want to do anything more than just hand tight. But what we're going to do is we're going to take those gray pieces, whatever you want to call them, barbs, you name it. We're going to silicone them in just for added safety. Yeah, that's maybe overkill, but the wife will kill me if this thing decides to explode, which it won't, because we're going to be doing double safety stuff by siliconing, clamping, and making sure everything is in proper order. So we're going to take this off camera. No reason to show you us taking it apart. All right, so we're going to take this apart real quick. I changed my mind. You're going to watch, but we're going to speed it up. Let's go. All right, folks, so we're getting the bulkheads and everything attached properly. We've got our tubing here. We're just going to screw it on here. No need to silicone it like I said before, but we did, however, silicone the barb, whether that's needed or not. I don't like anything that's connected to a hose not to be clamped, silicone, things of that nature. So this stuff will be hand tightened. Of course, everybody's going to be different, so I do not know pounds per square inch. Just get it nice and tight so that it doesn't move anymore. And then we'll drop it right here inside the bulkhead. Oh, that would help. The silicone gasket, the thing that protects you from the water flowing outward through the seams, would definitely help to get that in properly. Now make sure you have a really, really good seal, that it's flush. And let's see, what do we got? Bingo. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it this way. I'll grab the camera here in a second, but I have the nozzle of the return from the tubing pointing this way, which I think should be okay, because I'm going to stuff the back of this with possibly batting or bio balls to reduce the noise. So, now remember, I've already secured this one off camera. The key to the bulkhead is when you're screwing this on, do not use any tools. If you over tighten this, you risk so many catastrophic issues. Just hand tighten it. Very simple. Goes over the threading and you just screw on. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. Now, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be the first one to tell you I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. And I will tell you that the sump at one point scared me. Not for the sheer fact that it's not good, because it's probably one of the better filtrations, but I didn't understand it in the sense of putting it together, getting it going, and some of you are like, oh yeah, whatever. No, I'm dead serious. And I don't have drilled tanks, and I'm not putting an overflow box on my drilled tanks, because those are just a nightmare waiting to happen, in my opinion. Remember, everything I say is my opinion. We're gonna get the tubing right in here. We've already hand tightened most of this stuff. You were basically listening to me ramble and somebody else called, so we wanted to make sure we were attentive to our customers. So these are both hand tightened. I'm going to grab the camera, show you what it looks like from the top down and from the bottom up, and then we're going to place this tank on top of the stand, and then you're going to have to await the next video of hooking up the hoses and the sump. All right, let's check out the inside. So the inside's fairly easy to see what we did, just making sure that all the way down at the bottom, the silicone gaskets do have a flat seal. If it is a complete seal, you are good to go. I'm not sure if this is what we're going to leave here as far as the PVC return goes, intake, but yeah, this is all a learning process, so one step at a time. So we've gotten all this squared away. We're waiting on the hoses from said company, and from there we can then start hooking up the sump, get some substrate and some water in this bad boy, and then start rock and roll. So I hope you're enjoying this series. It's going to get a little bit more in-depth as we continue to move forward, but I appreciate you folks staying tuned. So you know what's next. Holla! So the first will be, we're going to do the return. If you notice, I do not have the return attached yet. This is all just oh no. Are you ready to follow me on a journey of putting together the dog is loud.